Choose freedom, choose adventure, choose leisure.
Hi campers, welcome back to the Choose Leisure Motorhome channel. My name's Dawn and I'm one of the dedicated handover technicians here at Choose Leisure Motorhomes in Canterbury in Kent. Today I'm going to be going through one of the Truma heating and hot water control panels, and as I've said on different videos before, there are various different Truma heating and hot water control panels. So if you'd like to come with me, we'll show you how this one works. So here we are then campers, this is the Truma panel that we're going to be discussing today. Now, like all Truma heating and hot water controls, you do need to make sure that if you're going to run your boiler from electric, that you are plugged into mains. And whether you run it on gas or electric, you need to make sure your 12-volt system's turned on so it can communicate from the panel to the boiler and send it the instructions. If I press any button, we're going to get your clock and the little plug symbol here telling you you're getting mains hookup. If I'd had your heating on, then naturally it would flick between the clock and the temperature I've set your heating to. If I press the big round dial, we're going to go into the main menu. Now, there are no symbols above the black line at the moment because we've not got anything running, but just below the black line, you've got 4 symbols. These are your day-to-day controls. So the first one that's flashing is your heating controls. So you've got a little vehicle with a thermometer in, so that's your heating. You've got off, minimum's 5 degrees, and you can whack it right the way up to 30 degrees if you so wish, but we're going to stick it on a nice kind of comfortable 22 degrees for the moment. Click to confirm that's the temperature I want it to, and you can now see that you've got a little flame symbol directly above that heating to show you that I've put your heating on. Now, that's the only time you're going to see a flame symbol in this vehicle where it doesn't mean gas, it just means you've got your heating on. And again, we've gone back to the main screen and it's going to be showing you the clock and then flicking to the temperature you've set your heating to at 22 degrees. If I go into the main menu again, you can now see that the flame symbol above that black line is starting to flash. That's telling me that the cabin isn't a temperature yet. Okay, so if I go into that menu, I can turn it up and down as I want to, or I can come back in and I can go into the next one. So if I turn the dial once, I'm looking at now putting your hot water on. Now, this is a vehicle that I'm actually in at the moment in the showroom, which is drained down. So I'm not actually going to put your hot water on right now because the boiler is empty. There are no sensors on this to say whether or not it's drained down or not. So therefore, we don't really want to be putting your hot water on if there's nothing in it because it will boil dry and cause an issue. So just for demonstration purposes, we'll go into the menu. You've got off, which is where it needs to be when it's drained. Turn it once. You've got eco, which will heat the water to 40 degrees for your washing up water. You've got hot, which will heat the water to about 60 degrees, so that's a short shower. And then you have boost. Now, what boost does is it prioritises your water over your heating. So it will stop making heating, regardless of whether or not it's to temperature or not, and put all of the energy into making hot water. It heats the water to about 70 degrees, but it lasts for about 45 minutes before it reverts back onto whatever function you had it on previously. Now, when I say combi boiler, it's not the same as what you have indoors in your house in the sense of, yes, okay, it does your heating and hot water, but it doesn't make hot water in the same sense as on demand, because it still has a 10-litre reservoir that it needs to heat up first. And as soon as you start drawing fresh water from your freshwater tank, it's going to cool that water down. So it needs time to heat up. But if you do put it on boost, it's going to prioritise that and make it as quickly as possible. So heating, you've got your hot water, and then you've got your power. So in order to put your heating and hot water on, you've got to give it either electric or gas, or a combination of the two. So you can see at the moment there's 2 little lightning bolts above that black line, which means we're drawing 2 kilowatts of electric to power your heating. So EL2, 2 kilowatts. Each kilowatt is 4 amps. So if you are on a lower ampage site, maybe in Europe, and you need to make sure that you don't draw in too much electric, then you can adjust it. So you can actually go into the function again. You can go down to 1 kilowatt, which is only 4 amps. But if you're going out for the day and say you want your hot water on for a shower when you come back, you can leave it on EL1 and it'll make it nice and warm by the time you return. However, if you want it quickly, it's probably not going to be man enough. So what you'll need to do is go into the power and put it on a mixture. So here you've got 2 little lightning bolts and a gas bottle, which is a mixture of gas and 2 kilowatts of electric, or a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt of electric. Gas is always a good one to put it on. It heats the water up more instantly, gets it nice and toasty, and then once what it does is it cuts the gas supply, maintains on the electric once it's got to temperature. It will click in the gas as it's more needed. So if the electric's not man enough to click it back in again, the gas will click back on. But also, it's good to put it on gas every now and again because it will clear out your boiler flue, which will clear out any carbon build-up, any cobwebs, anything that will block it and stop it from working. So it is always good to put it on gas every now and again just to have that functionality, so it's not going to have a problem in the future anyway. If I go into this one again, you can then put it on gas alone. So if you are wild camping and you don't have mains electric coming in, you can then just put it onto gas only. If I go back, I can then go into your fan speeds. So you've got a 2-speed fan with a vehicle. It's basically, they call it eco and high, and it's just how quickly that the fans will speed and vent the heated air inside the cabin. So you've got high and low, and it just increases the fan speed accordingly. Now, these functions are your day-to-day functions. Just down here, if I go through the menu again, so I'm going 1 click at a time to each one, as soon as I get to the fan, I'm going to come down here in a Z-like function down to this one. So this is your timer. So technically you can have your heating and hot water come on a specific time of day and then go off at a specific time of day. But it is reliant on the clock being correct and accurate. So if your clock isn't accurate, you'll need to change the time. So you'll go into this one and just change your time. If I come along to the spanner, now the spanner, I generally tell my customers to avoid this one because, to be honest with you, for day-to-day functionality, you're probably not going to use it. However, for demo purposes, you can you've got your offset menu, temperature menu, so you can adjust the temperature of your hot water in the boiler, the brightness of the screen. You can have it between 12-hour and 24-hour clock. You can change the language. And you've got an index menu, which is mainly for the technicians, and a reset menu in case you get any warning codes come up that you need to reset yourself. The day-to-day functionality, really in real time, you're going to be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 of these symbols here, and they will have corresponding symbols above the black line. If I go into your heating now, I'm going to turn it all the way down to the off. Click to confirm. Everything above the black line's now disappeared because I haven't got anything running anymore. So I don't need any power coming in, and I don't need my fans on because I've turned my heating off. However, if your heating and your hot water are off and you wish to ventilate the cabin, you can do so. So you can turn the fans onto vent, and you can turn the fans on and off to the speed that you'd like, and that will just circulate your ambient cabin air. If I turn that now to off, so you can got the 2 little kind of round lines, but you can turn that to off as well. Click to confirm, and you're back at your home screen. You can have warning triangles come up. They will give you a code on your home screen, or you'll get a little warning triangle that comes up between your timer and your clock with a little exclamation mark in. Now, there are hundreds of flash codes for this, which are available to look up in your manual or on the internet. But most commonly, it's going to be probably user error in the sense of you might have asked it to work on mains electric and you're not plugged into mains, or you might have asked it to run on gas and you've not turned your gas bottle on, or you've run out of gas. But as soon as you correct either one of those two, then it will start working again. You've always got to remember to have your 12-volt turned on, otherwise, as I said before, you're not going to be able to communicate from the Truma panel to the boiler to tell it and give it instructions. So if your 12 volts turned off, you'll probably get a warning triangle as well. If you want to shut the panel down, what I always make sure that I do is turn each function off first. That way you are in control of what you want the boiler to do. It's not in control of you. For instance, if there's power going to it and you've left the function on, it will try and do it. So for instance, if your hot water or your boiler is drained down, as this vehicle is at the moment, if I turn the hot water on, it would actually try and make hot water even though it was empty, which we don't want to happen. So always make sure your functions are turned off above the black line. What I generally do before I travel home is turn the panel to the off position. So if I press and hold the middle button, I'm going to get off ... You need to make sure you wait for that to disappear off the screen like that before you turn your 12-volt system off, so it can kind of do its shutdown thing. During its shutdown sequence, it's kind of getting rid of all that pent-up energy and heat and everything it's been making, all the pressure. If you cut the power supply to that, it's got nowhere for that to vent and for it to release that pressure, and you can get an overheat code, at which point you have to wait for it to go completely stone cold before you turn the system back on again. Once the off ... has disappeared, okay, then it's safe for you to turn 12-volt off. You can unplug and then you can start your vehicle and off you go. So campers, that's how you use your Truma heating and hot water control panel. I hope you found the video useful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the Choose Leisure Motorhome channel so you don't miss out on any future videos that you might find of interest. Well, until next time campers, carry on camping.